The Memphis Grizzlies front office busted their humps to be as bad as they were at the end of the season to get to this point. Less than 2 weeks away from the NBA draft lottery, Memphis has the second best odds at the. In this massively important draft for the Grizzlies, this matters a good bit. The almost consensus top three in this draft, Deandre Ayton, Luka Doncic, and Marvin Bagley III, are all capable of being franchise-shaping talents. While personal preference may lead to debates as to who Memphis should take if they are in these positions, our own Parker Fleming has done this here, as well as here. For example, any of those three players could be seen as a victory for Memphis and validation for the tank. But what if the unthinkable occurs? There is a 44.2% chance that the Grizzlies' pick falls outside of the top three, and this could create real issues for Memphis. Depending on how they view prospects with question marks, more on that in a moment, the clarity that would come with that first, second, or third pick overall would be replaced by uncertainty. Do they side with the unicorn? Do they dream of righting wrongs of the past and take the undersized guard who can shoot the cover off the ball? The you go highest ceiling? Injury concerns be damned. This pick is massively important. This player will likely be on this roster at a time where conceivably Marc Gasol and Mike Conley will not be. This is the next leader of the franchise. Fourth would be a nightmare, but it could still work out. It just makes things a little more messy. Thanks to Tankathon.com, as always, for the great resource they provide. Off to the muck. 1. Phoenix Suns, Deandre Ayton, center, University of Arizona. Very active defensive sequence for Deandre Ayton. Nice recovery defending the pick and pop, and then stands his ground in the ISO. This game solidified Ayton's position on my draft board. Pick.twitter.com/CJPXORV35, the NBA Draft Wire, and Bad Draft Wire, April 29, 2018. No surprise here. Ayton has the highest ceiling of any player in the draft. He could be David Robinson with a consistent three-point shot, and played in college in the same state that the Suns call home. Phoenix pushed hard for the tank. They earned this opportunity if it comes their way. Athletic, talented, built for the modern NBA. Easy, home run selection. 2. Dallas, Luka Doncic, shooting guard, Real Madrid. Dallas would love to have Ayton fall to them, considering they have been trying to get into the mix at center for years now. But since Phoenix does the right thing and took Ayton, the Mavericks must take the top player on their board, and that is probably Doncic, although Jaren Jackson Jr. may be in play here also. While the hype machine is real to an extent, Doncic's offensive skill set is also very real. James Harden he almost certainly isn't. Gordon Hayward with a touch of Ricky Rubio? That's very possible. That's a darn good NBA player. Dallas needs all of those they can get. 3. Atlanta Marvin Bagley III, power forward, Duke University. Yeah, he's not the best defender, but he may be a more athletic Chris Bosh. Would you like a more athletic Chris Bosh on your team? Yes, you would. Bagley was the best player in arguably the best conference in college basketball as a freshman. He averaged a double-double and showed a game that can be played above the rim and also beyond the arc. That skill is rare, and while he may not be a perfect fit in Atlanta, he is a more proven commodity against top competition than Jaren Jackson Jr. Bagley is the pick. Here is where it gets tricky. There are lots of directions Memphis could go, but here goes nothing. 4. Memphis Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr., power forward, Michigan State University. I went back and forth on this, as what the Grizzlies, probably. Trae Young is tantalizing, as is Michael Porter Jr., who arguably has the highest ceiling in this draft outside of Ayton. When Kevin Durant is your ceiling, that's a nice ceiling. But with the questions that come with Porter, health, and Young, poor end of the season, defensive woes, Jackson feels like the safest for these options. The safe feeling comes from the fact that in a somewhat limited role at Michigan State, he showed all the tools of a star modern NBA big. Rim protection, floor spacing, basic handles, and ability to drive and finish at the rim. That unicorn thought process that comes with Joel Embiid, Kristaps Porzingis, Karl Anthony Towns. Jackson could very well be that kind of player. Considering he won't be 19 until September. Even more potential that after a few years, he will be ready to thrive. He isn't a perfect current fit, with multiple bigs currently on the Grizzlies roster. But he could very well, 2 or 3 years down the road, be that key rebuilding block. JJJ's athleticism and all-around potential makes him the right choice, at least in this specific situation. Remember, this is not an ideal spot for Memphis to be in, but that doesn't change the importance of this pick. This guy will be on the roster more than likely on opening night in 2021. Who else can you say that about with close to absolute certainty right now? Porter and Young are big risks, with potentially big rewards. Jackson, while raw, seems to have talent that will more easily translate to the NBA while having the very important ability of availability in terms of health. Still some risk there, but less than the other two and similar amount of potential reward. A quick note of reckless trade speculation: if this nightmare scenario does indeed play out, I could see Memphis moving this pick and possibly acquiring a 2019 first and a solid player in return, or maybe even take a larger swing for the fences. Something like Ben, and this type of deal only works if Memphis is unlike any of the options above in the draft, of course. If Jackson, or even Young or Porter, hopefully not Bamba, are key potential pieces in their eyes moving forward, you don't do this type of deal. You also don't do a one-for-one pick trade. Multiple picks need to come back to move off of. As far as the home run swing, depending on packaging a possible Chandler Parsons, and Beal will be 25 when the season starts, is coming off of an all-star season, and is under contract through 2021. Some variation of that would fit with the Grizzlies' desire to win now and still make use of the pick in terms of building for the future. Not saying Washington says yes, or even that Memphis does. Not even saying Memphis should trade the pick. Jackson has real potential, and Young and Porter could have arguments made for them as well at this pick in this scenario. There is such value in having potential elite talent for nearly a decade without full-on concern they may leave in free agency. Misusing this opportunity would be a massive mistake that could set Memphis back for a long time. You'd better be sure that whoever is available at. The point is, when the Grizzlies fall beyond. There are rumors that Bradley Beal or even John Wall could be out in DC. After another disappointing playoff performance from the Wizards. Why not kick the tires and try to get a player to help maximize the end of the Gasol-Conley era the next 2 to 3 seasons? Beal would give you that, a proven commodity to get the most out of the here and now, and maybe even beyond Mike and Mark. Number 4 overall is terrifyingly unpredictable. Let's hope it does not happen. 5 Orlando Magic, Trae Young, point guard, Oklahoma University 6. Chicago Bulls, Michael Porter Jr., small forward, University of Missouri 7. Sacramento Kings, Wendell Carter, power forward, Duke University 8. Cleveland Cavaliers, via Brooklyn, Colin Sexton, point guard, University of Alabama 9. New York Knicks, Mohamed Bamba, center, University of Texas 10. Philadelphia 76ers, via LA. Lakers, Mikal Bridges, small forward, Villanova University 11. Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges, small forward, Michigan State University 12. LA Clippers, via Detroit, Kevin Knox, small forward, University of Kentucky 13. LA Clippers, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, point guard, University of Kentucky 14. Denver Nuggets, Robert Williams, power forward, Texas